Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharyamadhyamam Asmadacharyaparyantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shrutismritipurananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyoma Vadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Gukarastvandhakaro Vai Rukarastanivartakaha Andhakara Nirodhitvat Gururitya Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Karmatyajyam heyam mumukshuna. The 15th verse we saw that there is an advice on part of Adi Shankara for the people who are on the path of jnanam. What kind of jnanam? Atma jnanam, self-knowledge. So for the people who are on the path of self-knowledge, this karma need not be done. Why? It's a huge distraction and it is contrary to whatever one is studying. It's like saying that, I'm on a diet. So, I'm not going to eat this, that and the other. No fatty things. No fried things. And what else? No sugar. But then, after that, one is eating all kinds of things. Gulab jamuns and jalebis and all these. Completely contradictory. So, if you diet in the morning and then at night you eat these things, what will happen? Nothing will happen. That's the whole point. Same thing, if we reproduce, I am karta, I am a karta, I am karta, I am karta, I am the doer. You reproduce doership 23 out of the 24 hours, and in 1 hour of Vedanta class you declare yourself to be akarta. What will happen? Nothing. Vedanta will not take root. If Vedanta knowledge has to take root and bear fruit, what we have to do is take a stock of one's relationship to karma. This is not just lip service. This is definitely a very deep, deep point we have to understand. So, all karma, really. And especially those kinds of things which are not necessary. See, here we make a distinction because then also it's confusing. What kind of karmas to give up? So the first thing that will go is brushing the teeth and bathing. Yeah, it's karma. I am akarta, and the teacher told me what? To avoid karma if I am on jnana marga. So how to have the discernment? And the Bhagavad Gita again comes to our rescue by saying, Shariram kevalam karma. Kurvan apnoti na kilbisham. Kilbisham means papa, confusion, kalmasha, all these things. Shariram kevalam karma. This is important. Shariram means sharire bhavam. Shariram. Shariram means connected to the body. The body has to be kept clean. The body has to be woken up. The body has to be dressed. The body has to be fed. All these things. Fed means not, all the time. Yeah, that also we have to say. Then again you have to go to the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnava bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkhaha. So there also we have to exercise discrimination. Yukta means in moderation. In moderation I eat, in moderation I sleep, not overly doing things. So the body has to be maintained, and we have to be practical and objective about this. Body has to be maintained, the mind has to be maintained in good condition. The senses must be sharp and strong. So to that end, I nourish. To that end, sometimes medicines have to be taken. Food itself is a medicine. So I use the food judiciously, avoiding certain things and putting certain things in the diet, inviting certain things in the diet. I have to do that. And so, Shariram kevalam karma kurvan apnotina kilbisham. Kilbisham means what is that, papa. So it's not a papa to be on the jnana marga and take care of the body. In fact, all our Shanti mantras ask us to take care, we ask Bhagavan to take care of the body in all our Shanti mantras. And this is exactly what has to be done. What's the problem? Cannot hear. You have to reboot that. Yeah. So then, if I have, that's why the discipline is important. If I have a discipline with regard to how much I am going to take care of this body, that is what is important. I need to have a certain discipline about how much and to what extent I am taking care of the body. Because here also there can be a confusion. For because the marketplace, in fact there is one shop called Body Shop. Yeah, there is a shop called Body Shop. And what will you find in the Body Shop? There is a lotion and a potion for every notion you have about the body. Yeah. That is not the idea here. I'm taking care of the body. And so, that's not the idea. Even while taking care of the body, I know that the finite cannot be made into infinite. So I take care of it. You don't come out disheveled and looking like an asura, okay? Yeah. So you have to take care of it. You have to dress properly because we are living in the world. You have to dress properly, you have to clothe yourself, you have to do all kinds of things. And this is what is important. Is really cannot be underscored enough. So this is how I distinguish what karma is necessary and what karma is not necessary. Meaning, one becomes a minimalist in terms of karma. Minimalist. And there is all kinds of, this is actually a trending thing, minimalism. Because people are sick of, even though they don't have Vedanta in their lives, they are sick of accumulating things. In fact, this, what was her name? This lady started this whole, Marie Kondo, yes. She started this whole getting rid of stuff. Get rid of everything, don't buy anything. And clean the house, get rid of all the things you don't need. But then her popularity decreased because it was found that she was selling all kinds of things that people did not need. So that was a contradiction. So nobody really paid much attention. But now the minimalist living is back in fashion. Small houses, it's like a size of a postage stamp or a matchbox, and small houses and small, what is that called, tiny home movement, and tiny houses, tiny carbon footprints. All this is very much in. And in a way, I think all these people who are espousing these causes are getting ready to study Vedanta. That's my hope, anyway. So therefore, it's this kind of a see. And what is minimalism? It differs from person to person, and it's okay. Little bit you can, that difference is there. That is part of life. Every jiva is different from every other jiva, so we cannot all be the same. That would not be useful at all for everybody to be the same. And then, therefore, so everybody is not the same. And so minimalist means as much as you need, there is engagement. And this is not just karma in terms of reproducing the body, that is one area. And in other areas, engagement with other people. You don't have to go overboard and then suffer, even with our engagement with others. If we engage as much as is needed and not anymore, in every relationship there is a freshness and a newness. But if we overindulge in anything, even in marriage, with children, everything, even people you see every day, there has to be a certain part of myself I keep for myself. If I give it all away, then there is nothing left for me. This is what is called healthy boundaries. There is nothing left for me. I don't give everything away and I don't just keep on engaging to my own detriment. Sometimes the engagement is actually a strategic disengagement. You just want to have a conversation, the other person is itching for an argument. You disengage. And then after a little while, they also enjoy that. The other person also enjoys that. And even if they don't enjoy that, they know that this is not the way to get this person's attention. They too will drop the drama. The moment you drop the drama, they will also drop the drama. We don't need any more drama in our lives. And when you drop the drama, all that is there is Rama. Drop the D. Yes. This is what we have to do. And so, this strategic engagement and doing as much as is needed. Because don't forget, let us never forget that the vak, speech, is also an organ of action. The tongue doubles as a sense organ and an organ of action. That's why it is so difficult to manage. And so, speech also has to be mita, means disciplined, less. The less you talk, the more the people want to listen to you. This is how it is. The less you want, the more the people want to give to you. The less you engage, the more popular you become. It's a very funny rule of life. Whatever you want comes when you don't want it anymore. And so too in the world of engagement. Engagement here means karma. And this is what we learn, and when we learn that, then no matter what you do or what you have to do, there is the sakshita, there is the observation, and the sakshi is intact. I keep that inner Bhagavan separate from all these enmeshments. The engagements are enjoyable so long as they don't become enmeshments and codependent connections. And so, to that extent, he says, let's chant 16. Dehadyair avisheshena Dehino grahanam nijam Praninam tadavidyotham Tavat karma vidhir bhavet. So, dehadyaihi avisheshena dehinaha grahanam nijam. We saw this last night. Nijam means it is true that everybody identifies with the body. This seems to be our capital, which is what? Self-ignorance. Because of self-ignorance, dehatma buddhi, the total and complete identification of the body is a given. For who? For everybody. Even the dog has body identification. And then all the animals have body identification. Human beings also have body identification. So then, that's what it says. And then even though that is true, and then there is a connection between self-ignorance and the subsequent body-mind-sense complex identification and kartritvam. As long as I identify with the body, I identify with the concept I am the karta. Because the body-mind-sense complex is involved in the production of results of and production of actions, and so I think that I am connected to that. So the body-mind-sense complex identification is tantamount to kartritvam. Very nice connection, direct connection is being given, and therefore, and he says the identification with the body-mind-sense complex. Where does it say mind? Adipadat. Adi means etc. So the identification with the body, the mind, the senses is due to ignorance, and then as long as the ignorance persists, tavat karma vidhihi bhavet. Until then, the Vedic injunctions and prohibitions one keeps following. And besides, this is pointed out in the Tika as well. Besides, one more very important thing is that even in the karma portion of the Veda, does everybody do all the karmas? No. Even though it is said that you must do this particular homa. But everybody is not qualified. Yavat jivet agnihotram juhuyat. But for agnihotra, what do you need? You need to be married. So if you are not married, this karma, even though it says as long as you shall live, you must do it, does not apply to you. Only if you are married, then you qualify for this. Like this, there are certain other karmas. It says, Krishna Keshaha Yajeta. Krishna Keshaha means the one whose hair, you shouldn't say, oh, it's only black hair. No, the one black because it's in Indian text, that's all. Because it originated and revealed in India. Krishna Keshaha means whatever the original color of your hair, you have to retain that. Meaning it should not have started to grey. Because this is a universal fact. Even light-haired people, have the graying with age. And so, as long as the original color of the hair is there, you are entitled, enjoined to do this karma. Many karmas are like that, like, having children, etc. The Veda doesn't want grandmas and grandpas to have a baby at that time. Very difficult to take care of all these things. Veda is very practical. Yeah. This is not the idea. So therefore, Krishna Keshaha Yajet means what? That the person who is young. So then the young person, there are different homas, and then elderly people, there are different karmas, and then married person has one kind of karma, unmarried person also has another kind of karma. And so Adi Shankara says, look, the karma has to do with is centered on the karta. And even in the Veda, which says that these karmas must be done, in the Bhagavad Gita Bhashya also this is pointed out. Even though he says these karmas must be done, not that everybody is doing all the karmas, then that person will not be able to sleep or eat. Upasana is for people who are vanaprasthis. And if you tell, upasana means what? The meditation. If you tell a 18-year-old, come on, sit here, do upasana, they are not able to do that. Focus is not there, and because they need to be doing other things. So even in the Veda, everybody can't do everything. This itself shows that every karma in the Veda is not vihita for everybody. There also one picks and chooses, or one is picked and chosen by the Veda what to do, what not to do. And so therefore, so as long as there is body identification, then only karma applies. Because the person has to identify as a karta. This is why the karma, all the karmas do not apply to everybody. And if this much is understood, Adi Shankara says, let's go to the next verse. Neti neti iti dehadin apohyat atma vasheshitah apohyatma vasheshitah avishesh atma bodhartham Tena vidya nivartita. Neti neti ti dehadin apohyatma vasheshitah avisheshatma bodhartham tena vidya nivartita. The first two words everybody understands. What is that? Neti neti. Neti neti means that small little pot which you use for kriya in the nose. No. Not that, okay? That is neti, not neti anyway. So, but anyhow, this is na iti, na iti. Neti neti iti. Na iti, and then one more iti is there. Neti neti iti. Because as we have seen, there is no new knowledge that is poured in the head. New knowledge is not poured in the head. The ignorance is spirited away by the words of the Shastra deployed in the form of a pramana by the teacher, by the mouth of the teacher to the ear of the student, Guru Mukhat. And then this is what is called Shravanam. And then through why is Shravanam eulogized so much? Because when you listen, there is very little of the resistance and the fear and the blocks that come in the way. And so, what happens is that when the teaching proceeds, there is a Brahmakara vritti created. Vritti means a mental formation, a thought. I am Brahman iti thought. Oh, but the thought is just finite. Yes, this is one more paradox in Vedanta. A finite thought leads one to have the knowledge of the infinite. But how? Because the infinite being you, the thought just has one single job, to point to you, and then it dies away. It self-destructs. But then you being self-luminous, self-evident I, then that is understood. So this akhandakara vritti, a vritti of oneness, brahmakara vritti, a vritti that describes you as Brahman. But how do I know I have akhandakara vritti or not? In the class, if you are sitting, and if you have a what is called in English, aha moment, that is akhandakara vritti. You say, I think I get it. But then it's gone. You don't even know what you got. That's because it has done its job. It has done its job and gone away. And suddenly you feel good, and suddenly you feel very expansive, and suddenly you want to hug the whole universe, including all the people who are not very, not very loved by you, including them. You want to accommodate everything and everybody in your heart, and you just feel one with everything. In fact, truth be told, even though that feeling is there, you don't see anybody and anything. It's only you are there. And what kind of a you? Not a sad, lonely you, but only you. There is a big difference between lonely and only. You forget you're sitting. You forget you have a body. Because it's all one with everything. You forget this is an auditorium. You forget, I have come to the Gurukulam. You forget everything. And it's not that it's forgotten. It's that kind of a reality, and this reality, they don't really talk to one another. Just like when you wake up, you have forgotten the dream. It's just like that. So this is what is called akhandakara vritti, and then it is produced only in Shravanam, and then the heart that is just in front or surrounding the heart, spiritual heart. Don't think, okay, here I have a heart and what are we talking? No, not the anatomical heart, but the metaphorical heart. That heart, one has worked very, very, very hard to build a cement wall around it. Cement wall with blocks of distrust, resistance. And those blocks of resistance are what? Are stuck together by the cement of bad experiences and trauma, difficulties, etc. So it's like that there is one story, I don't know where I read it, children's story is there. One giant living behind one big garden and wanting to enjoy the garden just by himself has built a great wall and then doesn't let anybody in. And the children want to play in the garden and they are all scared away by this ghoulish giant. And then he has, I forget the story, but he has some kind of a transformation. And his heart melts and he destroys the wall so that all the children can come and play and climb the trees, pluck the flowers, eat the fruits and enjoy the garden. And so, like this, the heart is enclosed in a hard wall. This is what we do all our lives. Put one more brick and one more cement and some more bricks, and the cement means what? See, I was right. This happened before and now it is happening again. That's the cement. The distrust, begetting the distrust is the cement, and then this kind of a wall has to come down in order to have darshan of Bhagavan within. And so what does the akhandakara vritti is like a flower. The fragrant flower of the Upanishad deployed by the Guru, and then it just touches the wall and the wall comes crumbling down. And that flower is an offering to Bhagavan. That's what it is. That is the sacredness of the teaching and the transmission of this knowledge. And so this is what is done through na iti vakyaihi. Through sentences that you don't have to be told who you are. What you have to be told is who you are not. And whatever you thought you are not. Whatever you thought you are not. Including even the basic identification, I am a man. No, you're not a man. What are you? Atma. I am a woman. No, you're not a woman. You're Atma. That's why all the names of the sannyasis end in Ananda. You are Ananda. You are Ananda Atma. You are Brahmatma. And so therefore, all these identifications need to be dropped. So na iti, na iti, na iti. And when that na iti instruction is complete, then what shines is here, look at the thing, na iti, iti, dehadin. Dehadin means all the body, mind, sense, complex, etc. Apohya. Apohya means negating, removing. So if you remove all these wrong identifications, you remove the thought, I am the body, you remove the identification with the mind, you remove the identification with the senses, senses not you, body not you, mind not you, gender not you, family not you, gotra not you, varna not you, ashrama not you, none of this is you. And then what happens? What is left? Atma is a leftover. Avasheshitaha, it says, yeah. So what is left over is I. And that I which shines on its own without any dharmas, attributes, is Atma. That I is Atma. Free, formless, nameless, attributeless. This is what the instruction that is given by the hypothetical teacher to the student in the Viveka Chudamani. Please negate everything. And the student goes away because the Shishya is very good Shishya, obedient Shishya. Shishya goes away to his room, tries to negate everything, and then comes back panicked. Guru, what happened? When I sit down to negate everything, I find that I have negated myself also. Nothing is left over. And the Guru says, yes, I understand that my work is not finished here. There is still a lot more to assimilate. Look at the negator. Can you negate the negator? And the answer is negative. And so I can't negate the negator. If you can't negate the negator, that means what? That means that which you cannot negate is you. That's why Atma is a very precious leftover. It's like so many things are there in the fridge and you have something very precious, but it's somewhere in the back. You have kept and forgotten, and then you remember, oh, where did that go? Where did that go? You can't find. First you have to throw away all the rotten things and all the things that have expired. And then you find that, oh, this is what I have been saving. And this is how the Atma is, that after everything is negated, like when the fog is gone, the sun is there. Eclipse gone, the Rahu has caught hold of the sun, so to speak. As though caught hold of the sun, nothing can cover the sun, nothing can cover the Atma. The Atma looks to be as though covered by wrong identifications, and the wrong identifications gone, Atma shines on its own as free of name, form, attributes and associations and identifications. And then what? Then avishesha atma bodhartham tena avidya nivartita. So the ignorance, tena avidya nivartita, let us take that. So by this By this neti neti upadeshena. Tena means neti neti iti upadeshena. Through the thorough teaching and the thorough assimilation of the teaching by negation of the Shruti, then one has the knowledge of the self devoid of name, form, etc., attributes. And then what happens? Ten avishesha atma bodhartham. So when the Atma is understood as not having any qualities, attributes, etc., through that avidya nivartita. Avidya is spirited away. Very beautiful. And this is Adi Shankara at his best, because here what are we talking about? Karma and letting go of karma. And immediately he has to bring in a verse that talks about the phala of letting go of oneself as karta and the wrong definition. So the wrong definition of karta is let go of. Along with that, the body, mind, sense complex, everything drops. I am not the kosha, I am not this, I am not that, I am not daughter, I am not son, I am not husband, I am not wife, I am not mother, I am not father. I am not the five elements, I am not this. And then, this is a cognitive negation. Because if you take this literally, it's not very good for family life. Because in the course of leading the life together as a family, you need to have certain engagements, you have to do certain things. So somebody asks you, I would like to have this. The child asks you, there is a school project, I have to get this done. I am not mother, I am not father. So this is a inner negation. A cognitive negation, because of which I can play the role freely, because I know that the role is me. Role has to be me. Role is one with me. But I am not the role. The role is the person, but the person is not the role. We know this from the quintessential Pujya Swamiji's example of the actor playing the role of a begging person. Does the beggar have a being independent of the actor? No. Body of the beggar is what? Body of the actor, same body they share. Mind of the beggar is the mind of the actor. Thoughts of the beggar are the thoughts of the actor. In fact, the whole beggar is actor. Is the actor a beggar? No. That's why, that's how Pujya Swamiji came with a wonderful expression. Beggar is actor is not beggar, B is A is not B. Pot is clay is not pot. Role is the person is not the role. If the role rolls over to the person, then there is samsara. The person has to be kept free through the adherence to the Shravanam and to these teachings. One time listening is not enough, because anadi kala, this ignorance has been continuing for such a long time. Plus there is resistance and hopelessness. So one goes home after the retreat and says, see, the identification is not gone, therefore Vedanta did not work. So I will not study anymore. This is the conclusion of what? Of the hopelessness, not you. It's the conclusion based on your emotions, not you. So, because you see, it's like a rock. You see, the rock has jagged, angular edges, and so what do the waves do? They rock this rock. The waves keep on crashing on the rock, and if the rock is not adhered to the bottom, it's like, it's lulled like this. Then after several years, maybe 50 years, so many years, we don't even know how, in the lap of the river Mother Narmada, these rocks are going in a way like the jivas go in to Shravanam, just like that. They are operated upon by the river, and all the jagged rocks lose their angularities. And when the professional divers go, they bring out a Shivalinga, Narmadeshwara. All smooth, they're beautiful. They don't need anything. They don't need to be filed, they don't need to be sandpapered, they don't need anything. They don't need to be waxed. They are just perfect. And they have colors because those are also rocks combining. So in the same way, the jagged, angular aspects of the personality are taken away gently by the Mother Shruti, just like Mother Narmada takes away all the jagged edges of the rocks, makes it smooth, makes it Bhagavan. Similarly, Mother Shruti makes us Bhagavan. We were already Bhagavan, now we know. Very, very nice. So, if the rock, when it entered the river, said, "Oh, no, you are not going to come and, do this. I'm going to get out of you. I'm going to try very hard and use a wave to jump and then get to the side of the river. I'm not going inside." Then what will happen? Nothing will happen. That's why the immersion for a length of time is the key. That immersion is needed, both for the rock and this person with a jagged, ragged, angular personality. Vedanta is the discovery of the person after dropping the personality, cognitively dropping. Personality means annoyance, anger, raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, all these things, which are difficult. Even for the person to tolerate themselves, it's difficult. That's why they keep themselves busy. Everybody keeps themselves busy because I can't sit for 5 minutes with myself. Why? I can't stand myself. And if that's the case, how can I expect other people to stand me if I myself cannot like myself? So, you lose the personality, in order to discover the person as this unchanging, inviolable I that is there, which is nitya, which is shuddha, free, buddha, mukta, pure. All knowledge. It is there, it has to be discovered. In order to get something has to be given up. Why? Because that something is in the way of seeing this. That's how neti works. The personality is dispensable because it keeps changing. Vikaritvat. It keeps changing. That's one reason it's dispensable. It is moody and it is goes up and down. That's another reason it's dispensable. And it directly contradicts the Shruti Vakya of the nature of the Atma. That is the reason it is dispensable. And I can be without a personality. Where? When? How? In sleep, yes. Even in Vedanta class, when the sleep comes, I have no personality. The nice thing with these 7 o'clock classes is that nobody is sleeping, okay? Yeah. Congratulations. Morning classes, everybody hopefully has had a good night's rest and then nobody is sleeping. This is nice. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying this temporary change in the schedule. So, this is the thing. In sleep, what personality? Oh, I like blue color. I'm not going to wear any other color. I only like blue color. In sleep, let's say they put one green color sheet on you, somebody, because they think you are cold, out of the kindness of their heart and because they don't know your quirk. Somebody very lovingly puts a green blanket on you. on the body. You don't get up, you don't protest, you don't do anything at all. In sleep there is no personality. In sleep there is no knowledge of objects is not there in sleep. Even the greatest musician does not snore in tune. Yeah, no Shruti in the snoring. If you recorded them and played it back when they woke up, they will be horrified. They will say, OMG, what am I doing here? All the knowledge that you have gone. A PhD is not a PhD in sleep. This is all Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. You think I'm sitting here and making stuff up, which I do sometimes, but not this time. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Yajnavalkya Janaka dialogue. I'll bring the passage for the next class, evening class. So you'll see, it's a beautiful passage. Even the thief who goes to sleep, does he think I'm a thief? No, that no consciousness is there. Similarly, this dehabhimanam apohya, taking away the dehabhimana, you forget. Body, mind, sense complex identification, when it is gone through Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, etc. First, let us just look at Shravanam. When it is gone, then there is the ensuing identifications with my raga dvesha, with priya apriya, with my possessions, with my personality is not there. The personality is just coming in the way of knowing myself as the person. So you allow the personality to drop. When the personality drops, it panics. And then you say, okay, you can come in through the back door. Now that I know that you are dispensable, you can hang around me, it's okay. But I'm not going to give it the same importance to you that I gave before I gained this knowledge. So when that kind of personality is there, which is a dispensable personality and the person knows it, then it becomes fun. Then raga dveshas are there, but one is not under their spell. Likes may be there, but if I don't get what I like, I am not upset. I am not terrified. I don't feel incomplete. I become like Bhagavan Krishna, sporting a peacock feather in the hair, wearing yellow clothes, having a flute. Only difference is what? If you take away Lord Krishna's flute, he is not going to sit and cry or get upset. Vibhutis, the likes and dislikes of a jnani are freed from the personality and they sit lightly like butterflies alighting on a flower and present a pretty picture. They become glories instead of some limiting adjuncts. They become glories. Same thing. For the jnani, for Bhagavan, that's why. That's why we indulge in all the likes and dislikes of Bhagavan. We want him to have peacock feather. We want him to wear yellow, Pitambaradhari. We want him to have the flute more than he wants the flute. This is how it is with all the jnanis also. Even with Pujya Swamiji, we had made his body our body. We had said, oh, this is what you are going to do. This is how you are going to stay. And then once he was very sick in Thailand, I was with him. And in Thailand, he was very, very ill. And then one day he just shaved off his beard. People got horrified. Few people that came and then those who came later, they just said, Swamiji, you cannot do this. You absolutely cannot do this. So I asked him, I said, why are they freaking out about a beard, Swamiji? Because even without the beard, it's you. And he said something which I will never forget. It was a very beautiful teaching moment for me, a learning moment. and he said that my body is no longer my body. It is now in the possession of the devotees who see me as Upasya Murti. This was the exact word he used. Upasya Murti means an object of worship. I have become for them a kind of a Bhagavan who is an object of worship. And imagine if you are a Krishna devotee and you go to Vrindavan temple and then Lord Krishna is wearing jeans and then having noise cancelling headphones. What a shock it would be. Oh my God, what happened? How can I pray to this one? In my imagination it was like this. He's wearing dhotis and maybe some other small variations, okay? But here he's wearing jeans and having noise cancelling headphones. Carrying a cell phone. Imagine what a shock it would be. So Pujya Swamiji said to me, I have become Upasya Murti for many, many, many people. And therefore, any alteration, it's going to come as a shock. That's why he grew back the beard, albeit after that he kept it very short. So if you see the photos of him in the 90s versus after 2000, you see that the beard is much shorter. But he kept the beard, not for himself, but it became a vibhuti for others to enjoy. This is how the personality has to drop. Then it can come through the back door. After you have let go of the attachment to the personality, it doesn't go very far, it just is suspended and kept aside. And in the wake of the knowledge, then it doesn't have the capacity to bite you anymore, to make you its hostage. It doesn't have the capacity to keep you in thrall, keep you in fear. This is what is meant by neti neti. And then further, very beautiful verse, next one, and a very upbeat verse. Nivritta sa katham bhuyah prasuyeta pramanatah asatye va visheshehi प्रत्यगात्मनि केवले निवृत्ता सा कथं भूयः प्रसूयेत प्रमाणतः असत्ये वा विशेषे हि प्रत्यगात्मनि केवले सा अविद्या निवृत्ता कथं भूयः प्रसूयेत. This is the Anvaya. Sa avidya. Avidya I have borrowed from the verse above. Sa refers to avidya. Sa avidya nivritta katham punah prasuyeta. Once this avidya, sa avidya, this avidya, once it is nivritta, sent away, banished. Tell me, Adi Shankara says, how will it be born again? Born again is a particular denomination, I think, in Christianity, but it's not applicable here for avidya. Avidya is never born again. Why? Because the root of it has been taken away. Once it is spirited away, it cannot be born again. Why? Because it doesn't have origination. Avidya is never born. It only is subject to death. This is very, very important. If avidya is also born, then that means what? Before avidya, what was there? You have to say vidya, because they are opposed to one another. And then, now I gained the knowledge, and then it's going to be born again, then what will happen? Then the knowledge that I have, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, will be replaced by, I don't know anything. And that's not acceptable. And that is not the experience of the jnanis either. And so for those reasons, it is said, nivritta katham bhuyah sa avidya nivritta katham bhuyah means again prasuyeta. So pramanatah nivritta sa avidya katham bhuyah prasuyeta. That which has been negated by the pramana. Because of the pramana. What is the pramana? The Shruti Vakyas that say, what do they say? Na iti, na iti. This we saw earlier. Na iti, na iti, iti Shruti Vakyaihi sa avidya nivritta punah katham bhavet. Katham prasuyet. How can it be born again? It cannot be born. That which is killed is never born. And avidya does not have birth. It is called anadi. This is the reason. Anadi, but subject to death, definitely. And so, asatyeva visheshehi pratyagatmani kevale. Pratyagatmani kevale means that it cannot arise. Why can't it arise? Because it has no attributes. Yeah, it is because the I does not have any attributes. It is non-dually one. And then if you look at where is this avidya? See, first of all, we have to find out if it were supposedly if it is to arise, then where will it arise? Can it arise in Pratyagatma? No, because Pratyagatma means the I that obtains as I in this, as though in this body-mind-sense complex is called Pratyagatma. It cannot arise in Atma. Why? The Atma is free of avidya. It has already been established that the Atma and avidya have nothing to do with one another. Atma is Buddha, Nitya Buddha, always of the nature of all knowledge, which cannot be attacked by avidya. Why? Because avidya belongs to a different order of reality. Which is that order of reality? Mithya. Avidya is mithya. Mithya avidya causes so much havoc. Thankfully, the havoc is also mithya. And so, now I have to understand that the asati means mithya. It is asat. Asati eva avisheshehi. This is well known that it is mithya. So, how can it be? How can this avidya, which is mithya, reside in the I, which is kevala, non-dually one, free of attributes and free of any kind of dharmas, free of body, free of mind, free of senses? Nothing is there. And so how can it arise when there is no location for its arising? And that so-called location in the sense of the Atma is already free of it too naturally. So the avidya was never there. This is very important to understand. The avidya that I am seriously trying to remove is not really there. What is really there is only I as free of avidya. That's the only one that is real. This avidya is like an eclipse. So when the eclipse is there, the birds and everything, they start chirping, panicking. They go home quickly because they think it's all dark. Total solar eclipse, we had it last month. And so in the path of totality, there is the animals behave differently. They know something is not quite right, even though they don't know geography, they don't know anything. Still they sense it. And so, and in the olden days, people also used to panic. They thought the sun had somehow combusted and it'll never be the same, all these things. So then, when the eclipse leaves, there is a sigh of relief that the sun is back again. And up till here only the example. Don't say, okay, the eclipse will never come back, because in the example the eclipse will come back. Twice a year there will be some kind of eclipse or the other. It's a natural event. But if the eclipse is there, is a metaphor for the jnanam, that eclipse, once spirited away, cannot come back. But why can't it come back? Because it is understood as belonging to a dream reality, dream-like reality from which I have awakened. So the dream monster cannot scare me in the waking state. Dream avidya cannot cause havoc in the waking state. So similarly, in the state of Atma Ajnanam, whatever I believed in and whatever avidya, because of avidya I was suffering, all that is gone in the waking state. Doesn't apply. It belongs to two different orders of reality. They don't even look at one another. And so it is spirited away. Next one we'll chant. न चेद् भूयः प्रसूयेत कर्ता भोक्तेति धीः कथम् सदस्मीति च विज्ञाने तस्माद् विद्या सहायिका न चेद् भूयः प्रसूयेत कर्ता भोक्तेति धीः कथम् सदस्मीति च विज्ञाने तस्माद् विद्या सहायिका. Actually, it should be together. Vidya and sahayika, you make it together. Because it's not sahayika, it's asahayika. Okay? I just understood after the reading it, it's asahayika. Means it's not helpful for karma. That's what it's saying. It doesn't give sahakaritvam for karma, so make those two one word. Tasmad vidya sahayika. Tasmad vidya asahayika. That is the idea. But we can't say it separately, it will mess up the meter. More we'll see in the evening class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.